Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 98 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. We hope you are all well. Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Two more episodes to go and we are at a 100th episode.
I know, it's mad that, isn't it? It is crazy to think that we've come 100 episodes.
Weirdly, something popped up on my Facebook memories and it was us doing a quiz, or you quizzing me, and it was episode 3.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't great. It was squad numbers.
So you think you've got better?
Well, I'm intrigued for you to do another quiz on squad numbers.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
And see how I compare, because I literally got none right.
Well, make a note of that. We'll wait until maybe the new squad.
Well, that's not fair.
Okay, all right. Okay, yeah. All right then. Maybe I should have a look at that quiz and ask you the same questions. Oh no, but you've seen that one now.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, well, you say that.
I'll go back and look at it.
Gone for another retro shirt today?
I've gone for that.
Not. Yeah, as you said, you weren't going to wear a shirt during the off-season.
I like this one.
Yeah, this is 2018-19 away shirt, so it's the white one. Player worn as well.
Is it?
It is indeed. Luke Summerfield wore this.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Luke Young then.
No, Luke Summerfield in a friendly against Telford in 2018.
Does it smell of him?
No, it doesn't smell of him. It's been washed. Yeah, we lost 3-1.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, against Telford.
Oh.
But yeah.
So it's an unlucky shirt then?
Well, there's no games for it to be unlucky with anymore, is it? It's just sat in my wardrobe and there's no games now, so it's not unlucky or anything. So yeah, look at us now, eh? Losing 3-1 to Telford in 2018. And in the summer, we're playing like Chelsea. We're up to League One. Yeah, exactly.
You looked at me really weird then, like I said
Sorry.
something really wrong.
I'm sorry.
We are playing Bournemouth.
Yeah, anyway, on this week's show, we're going to have a little chat about Aaron Hayden's video that he put out this week. We're going to have another, it seems like a weekly feature at the moment, but we're going to have a chat about Arthur Okonkwo.
Okonkwo watch.
Okonkwo watch, yeah. That maybe we should just call it that and just be done with it. A
little jingle.
I'm going to have a look. I've had a look at a couple of potential signings this week. Just my opinion. Nobody has to take it on board. Nothing that's come out of the club, just my opinions. But and we're going to look at another one of next season's opponents, and we're going to look at Birmingham City. And we've also got the suggestion box, question box. It's more of a question box than a suggestion box, I think, at the moment. But it's fine. Suggestion, question.
Yeah.
You know, they sound similar, don't they?
So, as mentioned on last week's podcast, we set up a Buy Me a Coffee app account thingy. And do you know what? Blown away. Absolutely blown away. There is some really kind people out there.
There are indeed. If you want to support the show, obviously this show is free. It's going to stay free. But if you do want to support the show, you can go to our Buy Me a Coffee account, which is buymeacoffee.com/me the wife. That was the best one to set up, really. I just want to say a huge thank you this week. As Sian said, we had Jay, Lee, Sian, Emmy, Zach, and Shari.
Was that Hiker Babe?
Yes.
Shari.
She's
called a Hiker Babe. She knows who she is.
Hiker Babe. Hello.
Hiker Babe.
Yeah, so thank you to you lot for making donations this week. It is massively appreciated. Everything that we get, whatever avenue it is, if it's through YouTube, Buy Me a Coffee, getting paid to do interviews, whatever it might be, it all goes back into this show in some way. We don't go off on some jolly and have a load of drink and food or anything like that. It all goes back into the show. So huge thank you to people who have donated. That's absolutely fantastic.
I don't like that. Donated.
All right. Where do you want me to
bought
go?
As a coffee.
Supported or
bought as a coffee. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Supported then. Thank you for supporting
It doesn't
us.
sound as icky.
Okay, all right then. Look, let's have a chat about the Aaron Hayden video. Let's get cracking with that.
Oh my God. Sad.
I always had a lot of respect for Aaron Hayden anyway, because he always conducted himself in the right way. Consummate professional as a footballer. He'd just been really unlucky. We talked about how unlucky he'd been with injuries. Definitely a League One defender if he could stay fit. And he's been on the sidelines a lot, and unfortunately he's been released by the club. He did say in the video, the video hit me straight away because he put some like sad music on it and everything, didn't he? And it was just like, oh God, what?
And then at the end there was his family.
Oh, it's like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, he said right off the top that he wanted to do. He was thinking about doing a social media post, but he said everyone does that, and he didn't feel like he could express his gratitude to the club and the fans, in the right way, just with a post. So he wanted to record a video, and I just fair play to him, because I think it was one of the nicest things I've seen a player do, to take the time. He'd made notes, bless him, and everything on his phone, and he had to keep editing it together because I'm assuming maybe he'd sort of lost his way, what he was saying, forgot what he was saying, or whatever. So he'd edited it together, but it was just really nice. It was a really nice thing to do.
It did. I did shed a little bit of a tear, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's sad because I've said before that I loved him. When he was playing week in, week out, I've got me little Aaron Hayden mug, because he was definitely my favourite player, back in the National League. I loved him, loved watching him score week in, week out is what it. And I am sad that he's gone.
Yeah. But
I think you've just got to be realistic, and it's right. It's the right decision, because, you can't. It's not that you can't trust him, you can't trust his fitness. Yeah. Unfortunately.
His stick legs.
He thanked the club, the fans, the owners, the backroom staff. He said that he was excited for his new challenge.
So has he got something in place, do you think?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Or is he going to be a postman? Or
I don't know. I think from what I know about Aaron away from the club is I know where he lives. I'm not going to say on here, obviously, where he lives, but he has fallen in love with where he lives.
Okay.
So he lives a little bit outside Wrexham, a little bit more rural. He's obviously from the London area, lived in the London area a lot of his life. A lot of people, you tend to find that a lot, don't you? People who come from London, all of a sudden they're living in a more rural area, and they're like, oh my God, I love this.
He's got kids as well that are probably settled here.
Yeah, no hustle and bustle of city life, and he's just out of the way a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I know he loves living there. So obviously if he gets a new club, it's a choice of two things, isn't it, for a player? It's a case of commute, depending where that club is. If it's down south, it's impossible to do. Or it's about keeping your family where they are, moving down there for training, coming back at certain key points. So I can understand why he's struggling with it a little bit.
I can kind of relate to that sort of life, because obviously my dad was he wasn't a footballer. He was in the army, so he was like away a lot and stuff like that, and we moved around a lot, so I can kind of understand why he wants to kind of be settled, because his children are still young. I think he's got 2 girls, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
They're still young, so if he does move, I don't think it's going to have a massive effect on their life. But yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, he obviously came to us from Carlisle. That's a pretty big jump and a move, and he's had to do that. But so like I say, he's really settled where he is, and it's sad. Unless he gets a Northwest club, You know, that's an option for Liverpool. He's not playing for Liverpool. No, not to burst that bubble.
No,
but,
I mean, you know, that sort of area.
Yeah, you know,
Manchestery area.
Yeah, there are clubs. I would be interested to see what club takes a chance on Aaron. And I don't mean that to sound awful, but whoever sort of offers him a contract, they are taking a chance because of fitness. And it would be interesting to see who does that, because, as I say, League One all day long for me. I think, you know, so is a League Two club. I can't see a League One team taking a chance on him. I'm not sure a League Two club would take a chance on him. It might be a National League and work his way back that way. But it's just so hard to say, isn't it? It's because you don't know. You know, there are players that you go, look, he's amazing. It's worth the risk. And he is that player. He is worth the risk, you know, and he will make so many teams out there better for having him there playing. So look, Aaron, all the luck in the world to you. And I hope you get a really good club in an area that you want to play as well. And yeah, just,
good luck.
Nothing but love, I think. But it was sad. It was just sad to watch. It felt like when he was saying, I'm excited for my next opportunity, I'm not sure I believed him. That's the thing. He had this sort of face where it was like, he's saying this, but I'm not completely sure I believe him. I think he just wants the club to do a U-turn and offer him another 2 years or something like that. But it's
don't. So sad. This is the thing I don't like about football.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. It is really tough. Look, let's do a Okonkwo watch, shall we, for this week? Because he had an interview, didn't he, with The Athletic this week.
Yeah.
And when he was asked about his Wrexham future, he said this. He said, I haven't looked too much into things at the moment, but I will very soon. It is about looking at all my opportunities and seeing which is the best for me. I've loved it at Wrexham, and they will stay in my heart forever. It's more of a waiting game now and seeing what is the right move for myself. If ever there was a goodbye message, I think it's right there, isn't it?
I did. Rob, Ryan and Red shared the article on Twitter, and I shared it on our Twitter, and it's basically saying, this sounds like a goodbye to me.
I mean, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't look like, oh, look, I'm feeling really positive.
I love it here at Wrexham.
I love it. We're in conversations at the moment to see.
Maybe he's been told that he's not allowed to say that.
Look, it doesn't.
He's going. Let's face it.
It very much feels past tense.
Never ever fall in love with a lone player. I have learned. I know.
You are just quoting my quote back at me now. I told you this. I said this.
Don't you deny that you were in love with him as well?
I was in love with him.
Exactly.
Right.
So.
But I told you this from the start. Never, ever do it, because there is no guarantee. I found out something this week.
Did you?
Which I didn't know.
It blew your mind a little bit, didn't it?
I'm not sure it blew my mind, but it cemented the fact that I knew he wasn't going to stay. Because I found out who his agent was.
Yeah.
You didn't actually know who this agent...
I don't know who any agent are.
No, but I would say he's probably one of, if not the most famous agent in the world. So his agent is Fabrizio Romano. Okay,
apparently he's a top dog.
Pretty much,
yeah.
He's the man.
He's a
dog. When it comes to football agents,
yeah,
he's the guy.
He's the dog's bits.
He is, pretty much. The problem, the reason I see that as a problem is Fabrizio Romano is very good at his job.
Yeah.
Being very good at your job means he has contacts everywhere. And I'm not just talking about top clubs. I am talking about every level of football, not just in England, in Italy, in Spain, in France, everywhere, right? Okay?
Everywhere.
And I sort of feel like Arthur is doing a thing which is very, representative of young players in the game today. And that is, they have zero input into where they're going or who they're going to play for.
So if somebody says you're going to Saudi Arabia, they're like, okay, I'm going to Saudi. He wouldn't like question it or anything like that.
It happens so much with young players. Young players could be happy at a club. I've seen on certain documentaries, it happened on the Sunderland Till I Die documentary, young players, and they'll get asked, where you're going to be next season, and they'll sort of go, that's up to my agent. No, it's not up to your agent. You have to have an input in that. And I sort of feel, the more I read Arthur's statement, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
It sort of felt like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. That's up to my agent. That's how it felt. That's not what it says, but that's sort of how it feels to me. And I think football agents have so much control in football these days. And I think we're sort of seeing that in this scenario where Arthur's going, look, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's going to happen next season, but my agent will let me know at some point what's the best move for me.
The day before and saying, I'm going to...
But how can your agent isn't deciding what's best for you. He's deciding what is best.
Monetary-wise.
Exactly.
For him.
But they are then feeding that back to the player going, this is the best move for you, because you are going to maximise your earning potential. But that isn't always the best move for that player. No. And so that's the thing that annoys me about young players in the game today that have seemed to have relinquished all control of their future to their agents, and their agents are the ones that are going to decide where they're playing moving forward.
With Arthur, if he, for example, goes to, I don't know, for argument's sake, let's say Man City, I know, that's...
Yeah.
He's not going to be, or, any other Premier League or Championship team. I don't think he is going to be playing. He's not going to be the first goalkeeper.
I don't know, you say that, but I'm not sure. Premier League, no. Look, Arthur's got a lot of development, so yes, I agree with that statement. But I think he's got a shout at being a Championship first choice goalkeeper. And that's where our problem lies. Because the money in the Championship, which we'll talk about a little bit further down the line in this podcast, is so much more than what is around League One, League Two. I mean, it's a massive jump. So it depends what a driving force is for the play, because I'm sort of saying Arthur's not making any of the decisions. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how I feel that it sounds to me. And from the experience I've had with looking at other young players and how they deal with situations and who appears to make the decisions. But Arthur might be more involved, and he might be just, taking not a back seat, but sit back and going, look, I'm not going to divulge anything that's going on. So I'm not saying what I said before is happening. It's just how it feels to me a little bit. I think we've got to go on the hunt a little bit at the moment.
I think we already have, to be honest.
Look, I'm not saying we haven't already, but I think we've got to start seriously looking, if we haven't already, and if there isn't, maybe we're quite far down the line with somebody, because Wrexham are very good at keeping it behind closed doors.
I do. That's what I like about Wrexham, because a lot of clubs kind of drop the odd hint here and there, but I think when they are about to release it for Wrexham, that's when they start saying, like they did with Luke Bolton and Jack Marriott, they sort of teased us, and then they, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was two goalkeepers I sort of looked at. I looked at Danny Ward first and foremost. Look, everyone's going to go, oh, shut up.
Isn't he
ridiculous.
Dead old?
No, he's not dead old. He's in his 30s, but
standard for Wrexham.
No, I mean he's not even old 30s.
Oh, okay.
So he was born in Wrexham, you see.
Yeah.
Okay, he had 4 years at Wrexham Youth. I don't think he ever played a first team game. But look, Danny Ward has spent his career pretty much being a second choice goalkeeper. So he was at Liverpool, barely played at Liverpool, very much a backup goalkeeper at Liverpool. He's then moved on to Leicester, Leicester, for anybody who doesn't know, have just won the Championship, so they'll be in the Premier League next season. Very much the backup goalkeeper at Leicester as well. Has played games here and there. Did have a season where he was playing quite regularly. He's very much the number 2 at Leicester, okay? Now, so the reason I say it depends what motivates a player for me. Because he's having a career as a very well-known backup goalkeeper. That's his job. He's backup goalkeeper. He will come in when someone gets injured. That's it, really. He's not... He might be more than happy with that. He might... I genuinely don't know. I don't know the guy. I know he's from Wrexham, but I don't know him. I don't know what motivates him. For me, if you're a footballer, you want to be playing all the time. Yeah. And he would have that opportunity if he came to us. Although they're now in the Premier League, he might be more than happy sitting back. He's got a front row seat to lots of Premier League games next season that Leicester are going to play. He might even get on now and again, depending on injuries and things like that. It is
as well. If it's like
he might get some cup games as well, all that sort of stuff, and he might be more than happy with that. Or he could come to us and play every week. Again, it depends what motivates a player. And, it's really hard. The other sort of sticking point with this is Danny Ward is in contract with Leicester. So it would be, I would suggest it would be a loan move. Which,
no, we don't want a loan again.
Which might suit all parties, because Wrexham are looking for a goalkeeper that's used to playing at a higher level, albeit not that often. And the other problem is wages. I don't know what Danny Ward is on, but I would suggest he signed his contract when they were in the Premier League. Okay.
Right.
Now, usually with player contracts, there'll be a relegation clause that you take a percentage cut if the team get relegated. I dare say when he was in the Premier League, he was on 20 grand a week, if not a little bit more than that. He perhaps has taken a cut. Since they got relegated. That's still a lot of money, to be paying a player if we were to, so a loan move where potentially you share the wages. There's lots of different ways that you can do loan moves. Some clubs expect you to pay all the way, 50% of the. It depends. It depends on how that's set up. He was one that I looked at that I thought if want their number 2 goalkeeper to have regular first team football, then this might be a really good opportunity for that to happen. If Leicester want to free up a little bit of money on their wage bill by, we'll pay 50%, you pay 50%, that frees up a little bit of money. Not a lot in Premier League terms, but if they do that a few times, that might pay a new player coming in's wages. So there's options there. Will it happen? I've talked for 5 minutes. Will it happen? No, probably not. I can't see it happening. I think, when you've got a backup goalkeeper at your club, you want him there. You want him training with that first team squad week in, week out. So when he does have to come in, he's got that relationship with his defenders in front of him that he's doing week in, week out. So is it going to happen? Probably not. But stranger things have happened at Wrexham. You just don't know. The other one I looked at was Chris Maxwell. Okay.
Oh yeah, Chrissy. No idea who he is.
Okay, Chris Maxwell's 33. Okay, he made 109 appearances for Wrexham. Between 2008 and 2012. Look, I really liked him. I thought he was a great goalkeeper. We sold him to Fleetwood, who he went out on loan to a couple of clubs. One of them clubs was us, so he played a few games in 2013 for us as well. He's ended up at Huddersfield now, who have just obviously been. He's the backup goalkeeper at Huddersfield. Okay, now Huddersfield, obviously a Championship team last season.
League One.
Now going to be a League One team with us next season. Again, all the same points that I discussed for Danny Ward are relevant here. What motivates that player? Do they want to be playing week in, week out? I don't know. I don't know the answers to any of them things. The reason I chucked Chris Maxwell in is he was a bit of a fan favourite. I really liked Chris Maxwell.
Yeah.
He's not from Wrexham. He's from I want to say St Asaph, so not too far away, just
Still
down the road.
Welsh.
Yeah, has already played over 100 games for Wrexham.
Yeah.
Has been out at higher level clubs. Perfected the craft maybe a little bit, and it depends how much first team football he wants. I'm not sure about his contractual obligations at the moment, Chris Maxwell, although he will be on a lot less money than Danny Ward will be. I would guess somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 a week. I guess.
I'd love to be on £5,000 or £10,000 a week.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
It would be lovely.
But that's something that we could handle. 5,000 to 10,000 a week is something as a club that we could handle.
Yeah.
So probably a more viable option. Some people will go, Maxwell, are you kidding me? No. But for me, it sort of makes sense.
It's your opinion.
My opinion.
Which, you're allowed to have.
I am. Look, we're going to talk about some transfer rumours, but not this week because...
there isn't any.
There isn't really
Well,
any.
you've got the likes of Jamie Vardy being linked with us, and it's...
Yeah.
Roll my eyes moment.
Yeah, I can't see that happening, but...
Can you imagine Jamie Vardy and James McLean on the same team?
Yeah, I know.
Whew.
Yeah, both of them scoring, both of them taunting the fans.
Scared.
Yeah.
Well, our oppositions would be scared.
Yeah, so look,
I
I looked at 2 players this week. Look, I've aimed big because...
Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, because...
He's retired.
Because
now,
why
is
not?
Is he retired? Cristiano
No,
Ronaldo?
he's playing in Saudi, isn't he? No. So you could argue, yes, look, I've aimed quite big. I've looked at 2 players this week that I just wanted to look at because I thought if we're, based on our, what would you call it? Based on the way that we've conducted our business. So we're in National League, we're buying League 1, League 2 players. In League 2, we're trying to get players in that are from the Championship or League 1. Now you're in League 1. I don't know why that would change too much. You're still looking in that sort of direction towards the Championship.
It's less likely to get people from the higher divisions, though.
It is. But
unless they're nearing their end of their career.
Well, I've looked at 2 players,
Okay.
and I may get shot down. Okay, but
Again, it's your opinion.
My opinion. 2 that I would like to just have a little look at.
Okay.
And look, we've lost 4 centre-backs in the summer. So I thought it prudent to look at centre-backs first and foremost. The first one I wanted to look at was Paddy McNair. Okay. Now, there'll be some people going, no, that won't happen. There'll be some people going, who is Paddy McNair? And,
Me.
and there'll be people in the middle going, maybe, and I'm in the middle going, maybe. So Paddy McNair's 29.
Yeah.
Decent age for a centre back. He's been learning the craft for, he's been a professional for over 10 years. He came out of the Man United academy. Obviously, we know some of the class that's come out of that academy. He played. It didn't just come from the academy. He played for United as well. First team. He played over 20 games for that first team. He spent the last 6 years at Middlesbrough, Championship team. Played over 200 games. He plays on the right side of a 3 at the moment at Middlesbrough. Now, some people are going to go, but that's Max's position. So look. I'm just throwing things out there, and I'm just throwing it out there for some players that I think are good players. Don't shoot me down. He's also a Northern Ireland international as well. The reason I wanted to look at him is Championship quality. He's played lots of games at Championship level. The beauty of Paddy McNair is he's actually being released by Middlesbrough. So he would be available for free.
Okay.
For free, for nothing, basically. So we could take him. Depends, obviously, on wages. That's a big one. Would he drop down? That's the big question.
What's his motivation and all that jazz, isn't it?
It is. Look, we have got players to drop down before. There is no reason why we can't do it again. I think he has only played, in his career, he has only played in the Premier League and in the Championship. He has not played any lower than that. For me, they're the sort of players that you want.
Yeah.
Good age, free.
Always a bonus.
Wages might be quite high, but we have to expect that now. We have to expect that we're going to have to start paying players more than we've been paying them in the National League and in League Two.
Do the guys at that are already there, do they get a little pay rise?
They probably will. Again, like I talked about Danny Ward, they'll have clauses in their contracts that go, if we get promoted, there'll be a promotion bonus, which will be a one-off payment. Some people's agents might build in if you get promoted, you get a X percentage raise on wages or something like that. Raises in your weekly wage tend to get kept for contract renegotiations usually, but there may be stuff built into contracts, so it's hard to tell.
Okay.
So look, I thought Paddy McNair was perfect. I thought he would fit into the system really well. We need some centre backs because we don't have a lot of cover there anymore. Tozer's gone, and Hayden's gone. We've lost centre backs. Tunnicliffe's gone. Scott Butler's gone. So even some of the younger guys that potentially could have come through, they're gone as well. We need something there. Paddy McNair wouldn't be cover. Paddy McNair would be a starter. Okay, so it depends it doesn't really matter how you feel about that or how I feel about that. It's about improving that team in some way. Somebody's going to end up missing out because of our strengthening. I think in this instance, that person may be Max. Although you could switch Max to the left because when he came in the National League and he had that really long run of games, he was playing on the left. He is more than capable of playing on the left of that three. So just because he's played last season on the right of the three, he's very versatile, Max. The one place I wouldn't put him is in the middle of the three. Yeah. But, just because you look at someone like Paddy McNair, I think he'd be a great signing.
I keep thinking you're going to say Paddy McGuinness.
Look, so
he'd be great in our sense of
he would.
He?
Look, Google him, look him up. If you don't know who he is, comment down below if you think I'm absolutely nuts. But I would love to hear other people's opinions of Paddy McNair. The other one, now, you would say this is a little.
Okay.
Which it is, in my opinion. I think if we signed this person, people would sit up and notice. Maybe not so much with Paddy McNair because a lot of people would be going, right, let's Google him and let's have a look who he is. The next guy, a lot more people will know who he is. I'm not saying you do. I am just saying a lot more people will.
Okay.
So the next one's Liam Cooper. Now, Liam Cooper plays for Leeds, who are obviously in the Championship playoff final to go up to the Premier League. I saw that look on your face, like, are you mental?
Yeah.
Okay, look, he's 32. He started at Hull back in the day.
Hull?
He played for Chesterfield for a bit, but he's been at Leeds for the last...
I've got to get a drink, it's so hot here.
He's been at Leeds for the last 10 years. He's made over 250 appearances for Leeds.
Yep.
The reason I've thrown him in is he has fallen behind Ampadu and Rodon.
I love that name, Ampadu.
Two Welsh centre-backs. They play week in, week out.
Yeah.
Okay, so Liam Cooper has fallen behind them. I think he has only made 15 league appearances this season, okay? He's a Scottish international. I think his contract's up in the summer as well. Another free one, okay? And this one is wildly ambitious, okay? It is. It really is. But you've got to aim high, haven't you? Because
dream big, baby.
These are the players that we need to start bringing in, and they're the ones that are going to push us on.
Yeah.
Do I think either of these will happen? Probably not. But I just wanted to try and draw people's attention to what is available and what is out there, because there's some great players.
Yeah.
Again, would he drop down a division? I don't know. He's a Premier League and Championship player, the same way that Paddy McNair is, but more so than Paddy McNair. He has played a lot of games in the Premier League, a lot of games in the Championship. He is 32. That isn't old for a centre-back either. He's a great player. Look, this one would be, if we were to announce this one...
would it give you the same... when Ben Foster got announced, would it give you that sort of feeling again?
Maybe not quite the same, but it would definitely be a statement of intent, this would. If you were to sign Liam Cooper, everyone would sit up and take notice, is my point.
Yeah.
Again, will it happen? Probably not. Probably not. I would say it is a lot more likely not to happen than it is to happen.
Yes.
I would say. But, two players there that are out of contract. I think Liam Cooper being out of contract, I think what happens with him moving forward will massively depend on whether Leeds win the playoff final.
Yeah. Which is next weekend,
that is on Sunday. That's on Sunday. So
this weekend, sorry.
Yeah, so that's a case of that 26th, is it? Sunday the 26th. Yes. So I think what happens in that game may determine Liam's future a little bit. If Leeds go up to the Premier League, he's not really getting a game in the Championship at the moment because he's fallen behind people. Leeds will strengthen going up to, so he could fall further down the pecking order. So it may be more likely he is to leave. Look, he could walk into most other Championship teams. He has no need to drop down to League One. But, like I keep saying, I just wanted to throw a couple out there. That they would be two great signings. Yeah. Great signings. But I think signing both of them would mean that two of our current back three would probably drop down a little bit. So, but definitely strengthen. It's hard football, isn't it? Thinking about that.
So, moving swiftly on. Last Thursday, Ryan and I it was our episode on Wrexham Club Knee. And it was really surreal, wasn't it? It was like before it started, they shared a reel on Instagram, which has had quite a number of views on our Instagram. Yeah, it was really weird, wasn't it? Like, oh my God, like there was nice, they had like these, what do you call it? Shot, like really arty shots over our house.
Yeah, drone shots.
Drone shots over our house.
Yeah.
So it was really good. It was fun watching it, wasn't it?
It was fun. It was really good. And for anybody who's out, so it was on S4C. Anybody in the UK that wants to watch it, it's called Wrexham Club Knee, but it's spelt the Welsh way, so WRECSAM.
No C and no like SCAM, like some people call it, Wrexham.
And then so it's on BBC iPlayer if you're in the UK. You just go over to channels, scroll right to the bottom, which is S4C, and you'll find it on there.
Penod Un, isn't it?
Penod Die we're on.
Oh yeah, which is
episode 2. Yes.
Are you impressed that I knew that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Penod is chapter, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. But outside of the UK, you've mentioned earlier in the episode.
Hey, Jay.
He said, I was able to watch the first episode in the US last week. All you had to do was sign up for a free account on S4C's website.
Or SC4's.
He said, I'll definitely watch episode 2. So if you are outside of the UK, if you just Google S4C, so 4 is a number and S and C bookending that, and then you can sign up for a free account and you should be able to do it. I don't know if you'll need a VPN being outside the UK to be able to watch it, but let us know. Let us know. Look, it was great. We had lots of messages from around the world. It was really nice, people watching it. It was weird being part of a TV show, like a proper TV show, but the weird thing for us was that they filmed us for
hours.
So long. And it must be, the amount of filming you have to do just to get some really short little bits. The mind boggles, really. So, look, we want to say a massive thank you to S4C for
Wild Flame Productions.
Yes, for doing that and for letting us be part of that. We think we might be in episode 3 a little bit as well.
Who knows?
Because we have filmed stuff which timeline-wise falls after what has happened in the episode so far, so we may be in episode 3 as well. But no, we loved it.
So we've got a question or a comment from Pop Culturista. I have a question as an American that you could answer. Many of the players have a chant or song that the crowd sings about them. Where do these songs come from? Do the same songs stay with the player as he moves from team to team throughout his career, or does each club create their own chant or song? Depends how good they are, I suppose. When a new song or chant comes up, how does everyone in the crowd learn it or know it? Also, I assume that there are players who don't have a crowd song. Have you ever heard how they feel about not having the crowd sing about them? Woo! So many questions.
Yeah. Where does it come from? It comes from the soul. No, it doesn't. No. Look. A few points just to touch on. Some songs do follow them. So the Elliot Lee one, for example, we didn't make that up. It's an old Wayne Rooney song. It might have even been somebody's before Wayne Rooney. I don't know, but I know it as a Wayne Rooney song. And then it got incorporated into an Elliot Lee song. They've sung that song at previous clubs that he's been at, and it's just followed him, and we sing it now. As an example.
I did not know that.
Yes. So so that's one example for you.
What about James McLean?
Yeah, James McLean again. He had that song before, but we've just changed the words to that song to fit a Wrexham theme as opposed to previous clubs that he's played for. So cool. That's another example of that.
Paul Mullen?
I think that's Don't Take Me Home, isn't it? Don't take me home. Please don't take me home. I just don't think you understand. So that's a song.
That's a beautiful rendition.
Thank you. So that was a song that Wales sung when they were in the Euros in 2016. And it's just been changed slightly I'm sure people have sung that song before as well. I'm just from what I know.
Yeah.
And that's the words again have been changed to fit Paul Mullin, and I'm sure it's been sung about other players that fit into that mould. So yeah, that's an example. Very few songs in football are unique. There are very you'll listen to football games and you'll hear them all singing like the Allez, Allez, Allez song. Loads of clubs do that, and they just change the words.
Adapt it, don't they?
How do people learn the songs? Lots of different ways, really. You've got you do have forums. There's a Red Passion forum. People tend to throw stuff out on there, going this song.
Just being at the games as well.
To this tune, and then you might get a group of people who start singing it, and it spreads out. And then people will post on Twitter, on the forums. They'll post the lyrics. So there's lots of different ways that songs become.
I've learned them just by going to the football. I have.
Yeah. So it's some. But where that is, I don't really know, to be honest. But there are sort of people who go, oh, this song these lyrics to the tune of this, and then some people pick that up and it might start singing and it might sort of spread out. There's lots of different ways. I think I've answered that as best I can, to be honest with you. I thought you just stopped.
Kerry, I thought you were going to speak.
No.
Kerry EAV. Suggestion: as an American new to football, I'm always surprised when I hear, mainly on Mark Howard's podcast, how young kids are when they get signed and move away from home to live with strangers. Does signed mean they actually get paid at 10 and 11 years old? Please explain.
Okay. As
an old footballer yourself,
as an old head.
An old head, yes.
To explain it a little bit. So players can sign a professional contract when they've finished education. So that is that that is considered in football in terms of 17 in the UK. So they can sign a professional contract with a club at 17. Okay. Now, can they get paid prior to that when they're like 10 or 11 years old?
Skittles.
Yeah.
They get paid in Skittles.
Yes, they can, in a way.
Yeah.
Young players can get paid. What tends to happen with a lot of young players is that they will usually get compensated as opposed to getting paid.
Expenses or something.
Yeah, so they will get not necessarily expenses as such.
An allowance.
No.
Okay, I'll just shut up.
I was going to say, can you let me finish? And then you can. So what their parents will get financial funding from a club that helps with their education, that helps with their travel, that might help with accommodation when they're coming to training or games or whatever it might be. So it's more compensation funding than it is a payment, because there's certain rules about paying children.
Child
obviously,
labour.
So that's why they can only sign a professional contract when they are 17. I hope that sort of answers it. Because you have to bear in mind as well, if there's a child who is trying to become a professional footballer, they can't always go to mainstream education. So that might be a case of they need tutors, and that's what the club will help with. They will sort of go, sometimes they might overpay for the things that they need, and that would be potentially seen as a payment. For example, a club who bring a youngster over of 12, they might go, we will give you £5,000 a month for your education, which potentially it won't cost that, and then you've obviously got a payment hidden within that.
Yeah.
That's generally what happens. There are ways
and means around it.
There are, yes.
Merculago. But one question I would like to ask is, what are your views on the VAR technology being used at some levels of football? Good, bad? Also, he's not snoring at your question, he's snoring at VAR.
I'm not snoring, I'm just going...
Oh, that's how you feel about
yes.
it. Also, will VAR be used at League One level, or is it only used in Championship Premier League level?
Let's answer the end bit first. The VAR is only used in the Premier League. It's not used in the Championship. It's not used in League One. The reason for that is it costs a lot of money. The amount of cameras that are required to be set up for VAR to work. VAR to work is massively expensive. They're not just your run-of-the-mill GoPros that you set up around it. Obviously, they need extreme slow motion and all that sort of stuff that goes along with it. So it's a very expensive thing to do. And so it is only in the Premier League at this moment in time.
The Premier League are actually, I don't know whether it's fans or whether it's whatever, but they're actually petitioning for it to be completely taken away.
They are having a vote, so clubs are involved in voting whether it works. I hate VAR. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think you're the only one.
I hate it. I think it takes something that when you see players that don't fully celebrate goals because they're not quite sure if they're offside or not, it just takes so much away. It takes more away from the game for me than it gives.
Yeah.
If I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah.
And I hope they scrap it. They either need to scrap it or they need to make it perfect. And I don't think they will ever make it perfect. So just get rid of it. That's my opinion.
Agreed, yeah.
Yes.
Well, so thank you everybody for getting in touch. If you do want to get in touch with us, you can get in touch on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
email,
YouTube, email. Email is at methewifemwrexhamafc@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Boom.
Quick chat about welcome to Wrexham.
Subscribe as well.
Yes, don't forget to do that. Quick chat about welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah, it was a nice one this week. There wasn't really any football involved, was there?
Not much.
No.
No.
Which was nice.
It was nice. We looked at sort of like local business.
Yep.
And how Rob and Ryan are having an impact on the community.
Positively.
Mm-hmm. I think it reminded everyone, especially locals, that things are going in the right direction. But there's a long way to go.
Of course there is.
We drove, where were we going? We were going somewhere the other day, yesterday actually. We were driving, and we drove past an area in Wrexham which is called Island Green. Now, Island Green is I don't know what you'd call it, a retail park.
Yeah,
a small retail park, and it's got shops all right, a big car park in the middle, shops around the outside. We looked over, and there are some, I'm not going to name them, but there's some big shops that have closed down on there, and it's like closed, 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 toy store, closed, discount food shop, closed, and it's
coffee shop.
Yeah. And it just, I think you keep realizing things are going in the right direction, but there is so much more that can happen in Wrexham. And I really appreciate Ryan and Rob trying to drive things in the community and giving back to the community. We saw the park.
Yeah. Oh.
Love the little park. That used to be, from what I remember, it used to be a cinema. So it was a cinema that I used to go to.
The bit where the
child.
grass was.
Yeah. So the entrance was slightly to the left.
I obviously I didn't live here when I was younger. So
no, we used to. That's where I tell you what. That's where I watched The Lion King.
Was it?
That is where I watched The Lion King, in the Hippodrome. So that burnt down maybe 15, 20 years ago. And it's just been a derelict part of town ever since. So it's nice to see things like that happening. And, you know, that area, that chapter court area is starting to get new shops in, new businesses.
Yeah.
Again, still loads of work to do in that area, but things are moving in the right
Rome
direction.
wasn't built in a day, so Wrexham wasn't built in a day.
It doesn't, and the whole idea of it looks amazing to me.
Oh, it looks so lush.
It does.
It does.
I just can't wait. You know, it's been a bit sort of like, you know, you just want them to get on with it, and let's get it, but it's not going to happen overnight.
There's like red tape and all that kind of stuff, and money and everything.
Yeah, it is going to take time, but I'm really excited for it. The football side of things, we sort of there was a guy that was talking about the money required to get to the Premier League, and sort of League 2 to League 1 was $10 million. I think they did it.
Dollars, yeah.
Because he incorrectly said that both our owners were American when he said that. Tut, tut, tut.
One's American, one's Canadian.
Yeah. So $10 million to get from League 2 to League 1.
Yep.
League 1 to the Championship, probably another $10 million. And I think then it very much highlights the money required to get out of the Championship, because you're looking at $150 to $200 million to get out of the Championship into the Premier League, which that it gives me anxiety looking at things like that, because I worry about how the club is going to get sliced up moving forward, because Rob and Ryan don't have the money to do that and to invest in that. We've already seen a 5% getting sliced off and over to Necaxa and all them owners over there. You just worry at how much of this pie is going to have to get sliced off to get the funding that is needed to have an actual push into the Premier League. That's the part I think that worries me the most. But I don't know. I think sometimes as football fans, perhaps we have to tune out to the business side of things and not. It's interesting, and we want to pay attention because we want to know that our club's being looked after. But at the same time, perhaps we just have to go, I'm not going to focus too much on that. I'm just going to worry about the football, and I'm just going to watch the football and enjoy the football, and just hope,
trust
in your heart that is going to get looked after properly.
I think it will.
One quick thing to talk about. We did have a little bit. Oh, we had Neil Roberts on with his new bar as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Neil, who's been on the show before, looks amazing. We do need to go down and have a look at that. And Ollie's obviously clothing brand. We had a little look into that happening. And I think we had the main thing I took from the episode, footballing wise, was Arthur's injury. I mean, I knew that he'd fractured his jaw.
Horrible.
But the X-ray was just, It was
Like literally, like his jaw had been cut in half.
I know. It was just like so horrendous.
It was. I don't know how he carried on, like
as long as he did.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was weird, wasn't it? Said that at the same time. High five.
Losers.
Anyway, let's move on. Look, I'm enjoying to welcome to Wrexham, and I like the way it sort of flip flops between a lot of football, not much football, a lot of football.
Flip flops.
Flip flops. Yeah.
Flip flops. Yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. Still waiting for us to be on it though, but you know, whatever.
So we got
Series 4's been announced as well.
It has.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Hi, Sandy.
If you need any people,
Hi,
Sandy, give us a ring. Let us know. We got a new CEO. It's worth mentioning. Michael Williamson's come in.
Mixed reviews about this guy, I think.
A little bit, but look, it makes sense. We're not going to dwell on this too much. We're going to see how this unfolds and develops.
Yeah.
We have a new CEO. He has come from Miami FC. Not for anybody who thinks it's Inter Miami, it's not. It's Miami FC. They're a second-tier team. So maybe a little underwhelming, although he has done stuff in his past where he has worked for Inter Milan. Just to read a little bit about him, where it says, Williamson was the chief strategic officer of the company that is now in the hands of the Sunning Group. During his time with Inter Milan, he had a very active career as he dealt with the stadium theme, the restructuring of the San Siro, which is Inter Milan's ground, and the area research for the new training centre, as well as a hand in the successful negotiations for the Piazza d'Armi, which is an area of land. So, not going to talk too much about him. We'll let him bed in, and then we'll talk about him a little bit further down the line. I think it's obvious why he's in. He has experience in purchasing land for football clubs. Mm-hmm. He has experience with restructuring stadiums and building new sections of stadiums. And he has experience for purchasing land and building new training grounds.
Can you imagine if our training ground was like Man City's? That would be immense.
3 things there that we need. And so I don't think it's any shock why somebody like this has been brought in.
Yeah.
It seems to be his skill set and his wheelhouse. And so let's just let him crack on and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got our next season's opponent.
Yeah.
But I can see that you've put here, we need to mention the fact that we were on last Friday night, we were on a Birmingham City fan podcast. His name is Jay. But his podcast is called The Boy in Blue, obviously, because Birmingham City play in blue. So yeah, we were on for about an hour and we talked about like the way things are for Birmingham, the way things are for Wrexham, the owners. And Jay, sorry, I just touched my mic then. Jay is such a nice guy, isn't he?
Really nice guy.
Such a nice guy.
Really nice. We will link that down in the description if you're watching on YouTube, so you can have a watch of that. If you're not watching on YouTube, well, why? But
subscribe.
Subscribe, yeah. But it's on our social media as well. If you head over to Twitter, we have shared it on there. So
yeah. It's Boy in Blue. Boy in Blue.
Because of that, I've decided to choose Birmingham.
Oh, I love that segue.
Yes, thank you very much.
Possibly the best sense I've ever heard you talking.
Thank you. So they were relegated from the Championship on the last day of the season last season. They finished the campaign on 50 points, which was 1 point from safe. Since 2002, they've spent 7 seasons in the Premier League. Last of them came in 2010-11. They spent the last 13 seasons in the Championship. Next season will be the first time at League One level since 94-95.
Wow.
They were formed in 1875 as Small Heath Alliance. They were renamed in 1888 to Small Heath, Birmingham in 1905, and then Birmingham City, which they are now in 1943. They're obviously called the Blues.
Why?
Why? Because they play in blue. They play their home games at St Andrews, which is has a capacity of 29,409.
It looks like an impressive stadium.
It really does. The away allocation is usually 3,000. It can be 4,500, but that's usually reserved for cup games and stuff like that.
Oh, I hope we get a ticket.
I'm not going to go into the Birmingham ownership model too much, but obviously Tom Brady is a minority owner in Birmingham, and I think he's got roughly about a 5% stake in the company. I don't know because I haven't delved that much into it, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, because of the American ownership, it has cited a few people to sort of suggest that maybe Birmingham versus Wrexham could be played in the US. No.
We don't want it.
No, just.
But Jay was
just
obviously
no.
on the podcast. If you go over and watch it, his argument was it could be, a massive financial gain for both clubs, which I totally get, and I totally understand Jay's point of view. But as I said on his podcast, no, I
always worry about things like this. Would I want to give up one of the games? Would I want to give up the home game against Birmingham?
No.
Absolutely not, because I've paid for my season ticket. I expect to see all the games, especially a game against a big club like that.
At home.
Number one. Would I give up the away game at Birmingham?
No.
No, absolutely not. Great stadium, not too far away from us. I want to...
Jay's buying us a drink when we go there.
He said he buys... Yeah, exactly. And I've never been... I have been to Birmingham, actually. Sorry, I'll gloss over that. I have been to St Andrews.
I haven't, though. So.
No, but there are plenty of fans who won't have been to that ground. So it's another ground for them to tick off their list. Would you want to lose that game? No, not at all. And I get the financial implications and how good. I always worry about if you allow something like this to happen, what does it open the door to? Because if they say, if you sort of cave in and go, yeah, okay, look, we'll give up one game in our season to go and be played in New York. What happens if next season they go, okay, yeah, we're doing that one game again, but why, you got that one game in New York or LA. Why don't you chuck a game in Mexico in there? And then the season after that, they go, why don't we play a game in the Middle East? And then before you know it, it just becomes a bit of a circus. I'm not saying that would ever happen just from one game, but I always worry about the snowball effect of things like this.
I can't see the EFL agreeing with that, to be honest.
No, me.
So so Birmingham is 76 miles away from us. It's about an hour and 45 minutes down a motorway.
Down motorway.
Don't know what that accent was, sorry.
No, me.
Their top scorer last season was Jay Stansfield. Any relation to Lisa Stansfield? She's from Birmingham, isn't she?
No, she's from Manchester, Lisa Stansfield.
He scored 12 goals last season.
No, he scored... Did he score 12? Oh, yeah, he did, yeah. Sorry, I was going to correct you then. No, he did, yeah.
He's only 21 and he's been on loan last season from Fulham. His loan period has now ended. Their manager is Tony Mowbray. He's American as well, isn't he?
Tony Mowbray, no, he is 100% not American, no. No, he is not.
It's Tom Brady that's the American bit, isn't
yeah.
it? He's the manager, not the owner. He joined in January after Rooney left or was sacked. Carry on.
Tony Mowbray, he I
have no idea who Tony Mowbray is.
He had to leave for medical reasons. So Wayne Rooney got sacked. They brought Tony Mowbray in. He wasn't in the job for very long. And basically, he had to leave the position for medical reasons. He is still the manager, but Gary Rowett has taken over, ex-player. He's been managing them. Tony Mowbray will come back at the start of next season. That's the plan. So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, there we go. So that's Birmingham. If there's
excited about this.
Yes, really excited about visiting Birmingham. Yeah. Can't wait.
Meeting Jay.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We looked at some grounds that we were going to visit. Yeah, we Sorry, I'm not sure what happened then. I just froze because the camera that we used did something really odd.
What did it do?
It sort of did a little flash, and I'm not sure why it did that. And I was just very confused by that, so I just sort of paused for a minute.
It's a bit scary.
It is a little bit scary. But we'll just carry on.
You were going to say something.
I'm dreading what that looked like then.
It looked scary face.
It just looked like I just went,
You were taken over by
Yeah,
it.
no, that was a little bit
You
weird.
were going to say something, if anybody, and then you sort of...
Oh yeah, if there are any clubs you want us to look at next week, please let us know, and I will look into them.
We will be looking at all of them.
Yeah, we will be going through everyone that we're going to play.
If there's anything you really want to get your teeth into, then let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Just a quick shout out for Dragon Chat. It's a mental health peer support group. They run a weekly Zoom call on a Thursday from 7 p.m. till 8:30 for men, and 8 p.m. On a Monday for women as well. The best thing to do is follow Dragon Chat-Steve Lloyd on Twitter. Quick quiz. So, how well do you know our opponents next season?
Not very well, if I have to say.
We're going to play a game of higher or lower with the capacity of some of the grounds we will visit.
Okie dokie.
Because you've seen them all. You've seen pictures because we did a Twitter post about them.
They all look exactly the same size in their pictures.
There's 8 points on offer, okay? Right, we'll start with Birmingham, because you know how many's there. 29,409 is the capacity at St Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
We will move on to Okonkwo, which is Barnsley's stadium. Is it higher or lower than Birmingham?
Lower.
It is lower. It's 23,287.
You just went lower?
Yeah.
It is lower.
So 23,287. Next one is the Medeski, which is Reading.
Sorry, say the Barnsley one again.
23,287.
Right, okay.
Medeski Stadium, Reading.
Higher?
It is higher, 24,161. 2.
Oh.
Kirklees Stadium, Huddersfield, higher or lower than 24,161?
Lower.
It is lower, but only just. It's 24,121, that one, so that's 3, well done. And then next we're on to London Road, which is Peterborough's stadium.
Higher.
That's incorrect. It's lower. It's 13,511.
You're just thinking London, don't you? They're always big over there.
It's not in London, it's in Peterborough.
But it's near London, though.
Okay. Okay, next one is Sixfield Stadium, Northampton. Is it higher or lower than 13,500?
Higher.
It's not higher, it's lower. It's 7,798.
It's going so well.
It was, yes. So Memorial Stadium, Bristol Rovers, is that higher or lower than 7,798?
Higher.
It is higher, 9,832. Move on to Brisbane Road, just outside Brisbane. It is Leighton Orient. I was joking, I was taking the mick out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Higher.
It's not, it's lower, unfortunately. You are awful at this. It's 9,271. And the last one is New York Stadium, just outside New York. That's Rotherham United's ground.
Lower.
It's not, it's higher. It's 12,021. You've had a mare. An absolute mare.
I got 3.
You did get 3.
Which is good.
Out of 8.
Oh.
3 sounds, oh, that's all right. And then you go out of 8 and it's like, oh, okay. Look, guys, thank you very much for joining us again this week. A little bit longer than normal this week because I've just been talking.
You've been talking.
Talking and stuff.
You've been talking.
Yeah, I have, yeah. You've been here, though.
Yeah, I've been sitting here.
Listening. Look, thanks very much for joining us and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.